And welcome back to What Do You Believe with Kyle Martin Greer, David Glick, and special guest CK!
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Welcome Louis C.K.
We discussed this. I don't want to be Louis C.K. I want to be.
You got to hold the microphone up to closer to your mouth hole.
Oh,
But he does like to masturbate in front of people. Don't worry, we can edit this out. Well, not that we're going to. It's probably going to stay in here, man.
right.
All right, talk a little more. So make sure I got you.
I thought you were live.
There you go. We are live.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you really well
Okay.
now.
You're not really live. You're
Yeah.
just recording.
Yeah.
It's not like we're Facebook. This is getting streamed to anybody.
Yeah,
Just to
we will go live a little bit though.
So we're not live.
Not right
really.
now. Toward the end, we'll go live.
The camera's recording.
What
That's
do
the
you mean
proper
live?
way to
Like
say it.
live as in streamed?
He
Yes,
does
it's
Facebook
streamed,
Live.
yeah.
Oh, so it's just recorded.
So right now we record the episode, and then I have to edit it and all this kind
Okay.
of stuff, and then I upload it later on this evening.
Right.
But we always go live to like kind of promote, say, hey, we're doing an episode. Make sure you check it out later on this evening.
All right, do what you need to do. Let's get this
Well,
started.
that's what we're doing. We're started.
All right.
Hey, Chris.
What's the topic at hand?
Magpies, may I?
Please.
You know what, though? They do not want to be associated with this dirty talk that we're going to have. I'm not going to say the name. Just delete the name that I just said, But there's the best soft serve ice cream place at Magpies. It's Magpies. If anyone watching this lives in L.A., go to Magpies.
I think Magpies would be happy to have people go there.
Yeah, oh, dude, they're killing it. They're about to open up a third location. Isn't that crazy?
Considering that a lot of us have a lot of anti-liberal talk, I don't think it would be a very good service to actually have conservative viewpoints actually sponsor a liberalized chain.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had no idea if they're...
Vegan ice cream? Come on. You think any conservative in their right mind would want to know about vegan ice cream?
Hey, look at me.
Maybe.
You know what?
You're weird. I don't know. It's
I'm not really liberal or conservative. I'm kind of just
but
like...
you're
I just,
vegan, so
I just
you
pick
are
little
liberal.
things from each thing, yeah.
So if you're a vegan, you're a liberal.
Pretty much.
That's the crazy
Okay.
thing is people love to compartmentalize. I'm just like whatever.
No, it's a joke. I mean, obviously, we know it's not true, but you got a lot of people
I
who
don't know.
always say that stuff, that when you belong to a certain group, you have to do this, you have to do that.
Oh,
Well,
totally. I know.
I was totally thinking you were one of those people at
No,
2 seconds ago.
in a general sense, you like to make fun of people, but ultimately, in the end, obviously, people make their own choice. But at the same time, you look at the tribalism nature of like politics today, and it's you only join because you are a certain way.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
A
like-
lot of people feel that way for sure.
Like, I mean, you look at gay people. I mean, the majority of them, like a vast majority of them, are going to be liberal.
I'm
Like,
not that
that's
liberal.
not a coincidence.
Oh, never mind.
but not all of them.
Obviously not. When
Not all of them.
when we say
Everybody's
certain
different.
people, when we say certain people, we don't. No one ever means all of them. We just means a significant amount.
Some people mean all of them.
But
It
the
is
question
true though.
is-
Like if you go to West Hollywood, you
But
would.
what? But the
you would
question
be
is,
surprised to see
the question
too many
is, what
conservatives.
is significant? That's where people actually make their own claims on what a significant number is. I think pretty much a significant number is any, significant number, whatever, in my own opinion.
I'd probably more honestly like. And here's
Good
the
opinion.
thing. I don't even know what libertarian stuff is, but so what I mean to say is, if you like told me to say like the top 10 thing libertarians, but I have no idea what they are. But if
Freedom. I
I
believe
was
in
going to
freedom.
vote, if I was going to start voting, I don't even vote. But if I was going to vote for something, I'd probably vote libertarian.
Well, here's the thing.
Like Ron Paul.
My views actually fall more in line with libertarian views.
I just think the government just needs to stay out of everyone's business.
Well,
They're trying to force.
there's arguments to make that, but I mean, like me, I don't care what people do, and I think the government should be like restricted on what controlling people's lives because the government sucks at everything.
They do. I know.
Um,
They want to control. Yeah.
but I don't disagree with people's right to believe in what they believe and do what they want to do as long as it's within the law.
yeah.
Like gay marriage, abortion. I don't really care if anyone else does it.
Yeah. Totally.
So I'm
As long as it doesn't hurt other people, right?
So what libertarians pretty much believe is socially they're liberal. Like they don't really care what other people do.
Are libertarians? What's their view on abortion?
They're like I said, they're social. They're pretty much socially democratic. They don't care what.
So
people
they
do.
say if you want to have abortion, you can.
If you want to do, you want to do it. But the only difference between liberals and libertarians is libertarians say keep the government out of it. So therefore, in terms of government subsidies, like you can have an abortion, just don't expect the government to pay for your abortion.
Right.
That's
Okay.
pretty much what libertarian. Like,
Yeah.
you can have your gay marriage. Don't expect the government to step in with it.
Yeah, okay. That
You know what I'm
sounds
saying?
pretty
So
fair
pretty
to me
much-
also.
Do what you want to do. Keep the government out of it, or little government intervention as
Like
possible.
with Obamacare, isn't that a big thing with Obamacare where a lot of businesses are upset that they're being forced to pay for either, what is it, abortion or morning after pill or birth control or something?
Or even birth control. Yeah,
they don't want to pay for that?
It's because I don't pay for condoms. I do pay for condoms. The government does not pay for condoms for me unless you go to you go to a health
Yeah, like
department,
a clinic or
yeah,
something?
clinic. Yeah, they give out free condoms.
Do they?
And they give out free birth control, but I guess those are both sponsored by the same program, right?
Talking about
probably
Planned
right.
Parenthood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
That's government sponsored, which I actually support that condoms and birth control pills, but
They get those out of the schools.
abortions, heavily subsidized abortions, which comes from taxpayer money, I don't support.
Yeah, I see what you're saying because it's probably a really expensive process.
Ideally, I don't support. Realistically, reality-wise, I do support it.
What do you mean?
And here's the thing: it's
What,
going to be
for
a very,
abortion?
it's going to be a very controversial. Like, if I say this, it would make me look kind of bad. But here's the thing.
Good thing no one's watching.
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing: I think the reason why, even though I'm against government subsidies for abortions, because abortions, that's your irresponsibility that you have to have an abortion because you just weren't responsible to, accidents happen, but
Yeah.
you should pay for that yourself.
I got you, yeah.
But the reason why I actually do agree with government subsidizing abortion, because you look at the vast majority of the demographic and type of people who actually do get abortions. And here's the thing: if they can't afford it, then they're going to be with a child that, one, they don't want, and two, let's say they're not responsible with the child will grow up in a really bad situation, and
Yeah.
you're going to be more likely that they're going to become a criminal.
Yeah. That's
And here's the thing:
interesting,
you
yeah.
actually look at the back when the No Child Left Behind, not No Child, the zero tolerance policy in New York that I think William Bratton at the time implemented with Mayor Giuliani. They put in this policy in called the broken windows theory, or it's called zero tolerance policy, based off the broken windows theory, that if you are harsh on just the smallest crime, just every crime is going to go down. And here's the thing: crime did go down at the time, but I think I don't think it was because of this policy. I think they were smart. They saw the trend of crime decreasing, and there's two theories. One theory is that it was also the decline of crack cocaine. So those communities that did it a lot, they weren't, smoking as much, so therefore crime went down. Another theory that I actually heard from Freakonomics is
Freakonomics.
abortion became legal, and then therefore a lot of people in that community were getting a lot of abortions. Therefore, they weren't raising children with their low poverty rate or whatnot, and just their children didn't end up becoming criminals.
When was this? In the 70s?
I think it was like the 80s, 90s.
Oh, okay. What's Freakonomics? It's like a website?
Freakonomics is they're talking about thinking outside the box when it comes to thinking about certain things, like traditional
okay.
things, like what we originally think or what we're meant to think versus what actually happens. So, Freakonomics brings in the zero tolerance policy as an example. They're saying the decline of crime was actually because of abortion. Another theories are talking about, crack cocaine, decline of crack cocaine. So what I'm saying, if going off of Freakonomics' version, I think we need to pay for those abortions to prevent crime.
So Freakonomics is saying that basically all the future crack addicts and...
No, they weren't talking about crack addicts. They were talking about abortions.
But they're saying that by having the abortions, they prevented the next crop
Yes, exactly.
of criminals?
They prevented the next
Okay,
wave
yeah.
of criminals.
I mean,
Which,
it's
I mean,
crazy.
if you...
It's a controversial thing, but yeah, maybe it's true.
If supposedly the reason for high crime is lower socioeconomic status, and they're growing up in this area, then that's true. It would prevent the next wave of unwanted babies from becoming criminals. Wouldn't you agree?
Pour me a little bit of that beer, just a tiny bit in there. I just want to taste
It's
it.
mighty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's all possible for sure. That's plenty. Thanks. I just actually wanted to taste it. It's like my beer flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some truth to that for sure. That's probably a tough one to you know
what?
track down specifically. But
I mean, considering other truths out there, this is like a small pill to swallow. It's not like such a big deal. there's so many other truths out there that are like so controversial, that are so inconvenient.
Like
people-
what? What? Give me one.
I'm not
What's
gonna say.
one?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say any of them because how we're all ridiculed for thinking what we want to think. No one these days is gonna really truly say what they think out of
I know
fear
that
of being lambasted.
that's why this whole podcast exists though. It's like
I understand,
you
but
should be able, what do you believe?
it's still if this somehow goes public and it becomes like pretty viral, then
Just don't.
anything that you say can be used against you.
Isn't
in your
that
career.
scary though?
Of course.
Isn't that scary? You live in a system where you're afraid to think the thoughts you think and speak them aloud.
Which I mean,
You just admitted that you're afraid to say words aloud in a country where we have the Second Amendment.
you mean the First Amendment?
First Amendment, yeah.
And I do,
Sec-
I do believe in the Second Amendment.
Yeah,
as well,
I love the
but-
Second Amendment. I love them guns too. I was just.
But I mean, we
Personally,
live in
I was thinking about the Second Amendment.
we
earlier.
live in California where year by year, just more gun rights are taken away, and it's like whatever they're trying to
Yeah.
accomplish, it's not. It actually, I think, I'll give you an example, like the gun rights thing. They banned AR-15s, starting this year, right at the beginning of this year. So guess what happened in 2016? What do you think happened as a result of the announcement that AR-15s were going to be banned in California?
People bought AR-15s.
By the truckload, by the boatload. Okay, so guess what? By implementing a law about banning certain things, you're actually going to increase the chances of that gun actually doing damage because now it's going to be in more people's hands. I mean, logically speaking, you're actually creating more of a risk this way.
Don't you think they have millions of data that would tell them this would happen before they did it? Like these are very educated people implementing these.
No, they don't have
these
data.
policies.
They are not educated. Actually.
You don't think so? I feel like there has to be some kind of like steering mechanism.
They're making these policies purely based off of feeling. Like Jerry Brown, I think the only reason he banned AR-15s this year, and they're actually banning another implementation of AR-15s. They're actually trying to get rid of the bullet button. Pretty much, it's going to be illegal to have a bullet button.
What's a bullet button?
It's just okay. So on an AR-15 originally, when you wanted to change the ammo, you just take the clip off.
Yeah.
Just like you do any other clip, and then you put it in. A bullet button requires for you to you're not able to release the clip without some kind of tool to press a button that's really embedded deep into the gun to release the clip.
They don't want you to load it too quickly in case you're trying to.
Yeah.
blast
So
a
that's
bunch
what
of
the bullet.
mofos. Basically, yeah.
That's what the bullet button was created for.
Yeah.
And then now
It's
they're
like a
trying to
key.
get rid of that because they think that bullet button is still not good enough, even though it follows.
Well, if they get rid of that, what are they going to replace it with?
So now you in order to own an AR-15, you have to make it featureless, which
What's that mean?
You gotta put a hand guard that you can't put your thumb around it.
Yeah, you can't put your thumb around like
It's
a pistol
crazy,
grip.
dude.
You cannot have an adjustable stock. I don't know how an adjustable stock would make it more efficient for you to kill someone. If you're gonna kill someone or kill a bunch of people, I don't think that matters.
You could
Also-
just rent a truck from Home Depot.
Yeah, if people want to really kill people,
You're
they're
talking
gonna
about
find
running
out.
people.
Look, you look at Europe, right? You look at Europe. I mean, they have a lot of banned guns. Like they don't have gun rights like us. But guess what? Their mass killing death toll
It's
is
every
from like
week.
trucks
Yeah.
and like bombs.
Do you guys know that happened in
Acid
New York?
attacks.
Like a few,
Acid attacks?
like in the past few weeks, a guy drove down I think it's a bike path in New York City and killed some people.
That's
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
That was actually
Dude, that was kind of blacked out. Like that was in the news for a day,
Yeah,
and then
man.
it just disappeared.
here's the thing: if it's anti-liberal,
Yeah.
it's
I got you,
it's
what
not
you're
going to
saying,
be in the news for long.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
what
you
you're
look at
saying,
you look at the Trump thing. They're saying, oh, Trump colluded with Russia for like almost a year, and yet when the information came out that the DNC actually colluded with Russia, how long did they report that for? Like they
Yeah.
actually have facts and evidence that the DNC
I don't even know.
colluded with Russia.
I don't think
and
many-
they had it on mainstream media for like a week.
So
Yeah.
what do they have on them technically?
That lady, the one that gave Hillary the answers in the debate, what's her name?
I have no idea.
You know who I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Maxine Waters, Loretta. I don't know exactly. I don't remember her name.
She wrote a book about
some
it. though.
douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot her name.
She's the one that released all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
I
you're talking
It's
about
in,
the lady
it's in her
that
book.
I
wrote a
forget
book.
her
yeah,
name.
Okay, there it is.
But obviously, I mean, the timing of this, is obviously very selfish. She's obviously trying to sell books
Yeah.
to get her information. Here's the thing:
America.
she could have prevented all this, had she come out with the information a year ago when it actually mattered, when it actually could have done something.
She couldn't make money off it though, bro.
I get it, and that's the only reason
You
she's
think
saying
she's
it
trying to
now, so she
protect
can sell
herself?
books. No,
I was
she's
kinda
just trying to
wondering.
sell books.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's all it is. Yeah, just for money.
She's trying to sell books. I mean, obviously the DNC is probably really angry at her, but
It seemed like that's the most logical thing, right? She just wants money.
no,
She just
that's
wants
true.
to- Yeah.
Because every time people ask her questions about like lately, they're like, "Oh, buy the book. It'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it in the book."
Oh, okay.
She's
yeah.
obviously trying to,
Yeah.
I mean,
She
it's-
was
it's
the head of
You can buy it
DNC,
on
right?
Amazon.
I'm not sure if she was the head of the DNC. I think she was. I'm not exactly. She was a high rank. I mean, Debbie Washburn Schultz was the DNC chair.
Okay. Yeah, you follow it a lot more closely than I do. What resources do you use to get your news? You seem like you follow a lot of stuff here.
I mean, internet.
Internet?
I know,
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
who's speaking to you when you are looking at the internet about your news?
I listen to typically like Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder.
I've listened to Ben Shapiro before, but he, I feel
Yeah.
like he just like overloads you with really quick facts.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean?
He
he's
talks.
snide.
He's kind of. Do you know who I'm talking about? You know who he is?
No, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you
what
one
you're
thing.
talking
He is different. He's not like your typical person. Like he's just think about he is a huge nerd. Don't get me wrong, but he is a genius.
course.
He is a genius. He actually, I think, graduated law school at the age of 23.
Yeah.
You know,
with honors and all that.
Like Harvard
yeah,
law.
I saw that. Yeah, he's like.
So I mean, obviously,
prestigious
he's not
accolades.
going to be like he's not going to be socially like the same as everyone else. He's going to have like some
yeah.
kind of weird
Yeah,
viewpoints.
I know he has like a lot of
that are
followers,
different
too.
than the norm, which isn't wrong. I mean, he's just a genius. He's smart, and he probably got
I feel like
made fun of for it.
also sometimes he doesn't. At least I've only listened to him a little bit, like on Joe Rogan and stuff. In fact, I turned it off because it was getting so bored by listening to him. But
No, he's not as entertaining. He's more nuanced. Like
he's really into mainstream facts.
he debates you with facts, and
Yeah.
logic, and
And I feel like if you brought up anything that's like slightly conspiratorial or kind of bizarre sounding, that he would. As I don't know if it's because he does it for his career or he actually doesn't believe it, but at least on
I get what
recorded-
you mean. I
yeah.
know what you mean. Like when he dismissed Pizzagate entirely. I mean, with all this news.
What
coming
was it?
about-
Pizzagate?
Pizzagate. Yeah, he
Pizzagate.
dismissed.
Okay, see, I don't know the details because I haven't listened to him, but
He dismissed
yeah.
Pizzagate like just entirely, saying it's a huge hoax. But I actually, that's something I don't disagree with him a lot in things, but I do disagree with him, especially when it comes to that, because I mean, just think about it. If there was if there was a pedophile ring in existence, which I do believe, wouldn't it
Oh,
be
yeah, I
run
think for sure
by the
there
most
is.
powerful people on top?
yeah.
All right,
Well,
what's Pizzagate? Some people may not know what Pizzagate that are currently listening to this. They don't know they've never heard of Pizzagate before. What is Pizzagate, Chris?
So Pizzagate is pretty much
Let me
WikiLeaks
Google
released
it.
a
Yeah,
bunch
we're gonna
of,
Google it too.
WikiLeaks released a bunch of emails.
I know you could talk. That's the thing. Sorry to interrupt, but just be careful because we could easily burn like 10 hours talking about Pizzagate. Well, it's an open-ended question. What's
Yeah,
Pizzagate?
yeah. Just-
Pizzagate was bunch of emails released by WikiLeaks that pretty much showed John Podesta, the Clinton former Clinton campaign manager and stuff, and really heavily involved with the DNC and the Clintons. They were releasing a set of emails that had these like really ambiguous wordings. Some of it mentioned pizza and hot dogs, or I don't know, like
Almonds.
I don't know about almonds, but like
I have it up
Domino's
here.
and stuff. Here's the thing: if you were to read some of the emails, they didn't make sense on its own. It's like, wait, what?
Well,
That
I
doesn't
read
make
that
any
there were
sense.
some of them were encrypted or there were like hidden codes inside of them.
No, yeah. So a
And,
lot
like,
of these
when you
wordings,
unbundle
like a
it.
lot of these food, like these little orders, are actually code words. That the FBI actually has a database of known pedophilia code words, and
Okay, look at this.
like it's too much of a coincidence that a bunch of these emails had a bunch of these words that if you were to take it into its known context, it wouldn't make any sense. But if you were to take it into the context of pedophilia, it would make perfect sense. Now, here's the thing. People are being like, oh, that's not enough evidence. Well, here's the thing. WikiLeaks, and then they're also trying to dismiss WikiLeaks. And it's like, here's the thing. WikiLeaks has been pretty much 100% true for the past 10, 15 years it's been around. Why all of a sudden would they release something that's not true? You know, it doesn't matter what their political affiliation is or who they're trying to support.
Are they releasing facts?
All they release is facts. All they release is data documents, which are unaltered. So they're not like writing like a opinion article or anything. They're just releasing raw data.
Where do you think the WikiLeaks is getting all this stuff from? Like just rogue people from
Hackers,
Like, what do you
people
think?
with inside information. Doesn't matter. The thing is, it doesn't really matter where they're getting it.
I
They're
think
just
it
trying to-
does. I think it totally does.
Aren't you guys a little suspicious though that the media, which blacks out certain events, like without a problem at all, they just choose what they want to black out,
Yeah, of course.
that they put so much focus on something that they should black out? They're constantly talking about WikiLeaks. I've thought for a long time that WikiLeaks is just part of the whole thing.
What do you mean part of the whole thing?
Yeah, it's like where's it?
Why
yeah.
why would they talk about it? They won't even talk about some dude running over some bicyclist in New York City. But for some reason they're
You know
they're
why?
constantly
Yeah, yeah.
putting
Well,
a
here's the thing.
spotlight
You got to
on-
understand who
on this
you got to
conspiracy
understand
release
who the
wars.
media is controlled by.
I don't
I mean,
know.
obviously-
I don't know who they are.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, most of the mainstream media is typically left leaning.
It
So
seems
anything
right?
anything that goes against their left narrative, like, pretty much the left are pro Islam or whatever. Any news that has to do with that goes against their narrative, they can't report it. Well, first off, they own their news, so why would they report something that they don't want people to know?
Yeah, but if WikiLeaks, if they're highlighting all these negative things that the news is doing, why it's like the news is shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, here's the thing: the news
By-
has been. I mean, if you just think about it, especially this year and the past year, the news is going downhill. Like people are just saying fake news, and the news is just losing their credibility. No one's really paying attention to what they say anymore.
That's what's interesting about the news. Yeah, no one watches it, but everybody still like references it. Through the websites like CNN.com, stuff like that.
It's because they don't have any other resources.
Well, yeah, and I also kind of think like maybe it's like, all right, the three of us, whatever, we might not all three of us believe the same, but we all kind of like, there's a bunch of bullshit on the news, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like everyone, but we still, like the three of us might still reference CNN to see what.
CNN is probably the worst of it.
Well, okay, or Fox or MSNBC or whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's like, say you hear about some bad event happening, that one of the first places you'll still go is to one of the main
I
news
stopped. I
stations.
stopped watching the news. I typically read.
Yeah,
it
but say
online.
there's like an earthquake, you won't. Okay, well, what I'm getting at is, I think people still reference it to see what the mainstream is going to put out as a story.
Yeah.
Like I think people are still curious. Like, all right, what's the establishment going to tell us?
Yeah.
Is the story, even
Yeah,
if
yeah,
we
that's
immediately are
good.
like, all right, that's a bullshit story.
No, that's why
You
they're
know, like-
losing all their
Yeah,
control.
yeah.
I mean, they're losing influence. People are just not like tuning in. They're losing their ratings.
Yeah, but it's
people
like
are tired of
it's like you're at the school, you're a high school student, you hate the principal, you know he's full of shit, but you're still curious what he's going to say after each event happens because he's still the principal.
Well,
you
I mean-
still feel like, all right, these guys still have control. Let's see. Let's just check in.
I mean, well, without
because who watches the news? No one does. Like, I don't watch
without
the news.
news channels
No,
like
who watches
CNN.
it?
I watch people make fun of the news.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying
like we might
without,
like watch
without,
like Mark Dice or something. Yeah.
without CNN,
but
you
who
know,
watches
like
the news? Like I don't know.
how is
anyone.
Mark Dice going to make a living? How is Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder going to make a living?
Yeah. I
have
you
no
need
idea.
You need these other companies for other companies to exist. Or
I don't even
Right,
have
right.
a TV.
businesses.
Trickle down effect.
Yeah, I don't know. But I still feel like people still want to see. Like, have you ever watched these Trump White House videos where if you go online and find them, they're actually kind of hard to find on YouTube. It's like YouTube kind of scrubs it from your main feed.
Well, I
or
mean,
whatever.
YouTube is obviously
Yeah, I know it's controlled.
all
You know,
these
they
big
scrub all the stuff.
companies.
But
They're just left leaning. It's a shame, but
yeah,
I
it's
guess
kind of
that's-
crazy. Yeah, how
I think
how
it's
it
about
fits into this.
business. And at the end of the day, it's about making money, and I think who's paying them more to do this or to be this way, and I think it's all about money.
Well, who do you think's
I think it's the
paying
most
them this money that's making them lean this way?
I think
Weinstein.
no. Weinstein's
No,
not.
he doesn't have enough.
Do you know
It's-
how?
it's gotta be, it's gotta be
For instance,
somebody with
who
more money
benefits?
than
Who
that.
benefits from places like YouTube and Facebook being left leaning? Probably the media. The media probably pays them most of the ad revenue, right?
I don't know. I even wonder if it's all about money. I feel like some of these people have enough money that they're not even too focused on the money aspect.
It's yeah. At a certain point, it becomes pushing ideologies, though. So you know you'll have money down the road.
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe there's.
They're playing a long game. You know, it's never a year to year. It's like decades.
Maybe they're trying to create
Looking down the road
an inverted
decades.
universe create like a negative energy field. You think? Have you guys ever seen Ghostbusters, the movie?
Yeah.
It's a crazy idea in there.
I just saw. I did. Ooh. All right. So I did see the They Live movie.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
you
Sorry, I
told me
didn't
about
text
it.
you back, man. I've been
No,
like
you're
kind of
good.
slammed.
I
and
don't
shit.
know what that movie is.
All right. You should watch it.
Kyle, but dude,
It's
I
so
think you're
good.
wrong, man. You need to watch a couple more John Carpenter movies. And I understand that it's not good, but all his movies are purposely not good.
Oh, no. I totally. I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. I thought it was an awesome concept.
We're going on a date. Next time he has next time he has a movie in a theater, I'm picking you
Okay.
up. We're gonna go eat dinner. We're gonna get some ice cream. And we're gonna watch on the big screen. You're like, this guy's a genius.
All right,
See,
that'd
this
be
proves
great.
that you don't have to.
Thanks.
This proves that you don't have to belong to identity politics. You can be gay without being a liberal. There you
Oh,
go.
me and Kyle are gonna be really gay when the next John Carpenter movie comes out. You just wait and see, Kyle. You're gonna be like, this is the best
No, but
movie ever.
it was really good. It was horrible, but it was awesome. You know, I mean, the writing wasn't amazing. There's awesome one-liners like, "I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum."
Yeah, but he does that on purpose. I think John Carpenter. He's like,
Of course, yeah.
He knows that it's absurd because then he'll have these other.
Yeah,
scenes that are like,
but actually having to sit and actually watch it, it's like,
did you watch it on here?
oh yeah, I watched it. Actually, I picked it up at a place called Odyssey Video off of Lancashire or Vineland, where Vineland and Lancashire cross.
Oh, okay.
It's like an old place where they have like physical DVDs, like old school.
Yeah, I was watching there's like a Vice documentary on the last remaining Blockbuster. I guess it's still up in Alaska because no one has high-speed Wi-Fi up there. So this Blockbuster up there is like thriving.
Nice.
Yeah, and so they said it's like actually turned into a tourist spot. Like people will go there. Just
I would
to go
totally go there
just to go to
too.
Blockbuster. They're
I
like,
would totally do that.
VHS,
I was
DVDs.
I was thinking that while you're saying, I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally like its picture.
People do it. They're like up in Alaska, like, hey, while we're here, let's go check out the last Blockbuster.
I also saw that other movie that you recommended, Kubrick's Odyssey, about Stanley Kubrick
that's a
faking the
crazy
moon
one.
moon landing. Oh my God.
Pretty nuts,
It
right?
was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And
Jay Weiner has some other
Wait,
really
so do
crazy
you actually
movies.
believe the moon landing was fake then?
all right, so
I think for sure.
so. This
Yeah.
after watching this,
No, I don't know necessarily that people haven't been to the moon, but I think definitely the videos
Yeah,
are
yeah.
Okay,
Like-
suspicious at
what
least.
what proof do you have?
all right. So all right.
There's so many. Yeah, I'm not going to argue it better than all the resources on the internet.
All right. So
Well, I mean, I heard that The Shining, some instance of The Shining was based off of.
Oh yeah, that's
all
what
right,
me and Kyle were talking about.
in this video,
Actually,
he goes through The Shining and explains every single element of how it connects, and it's freaking eerie.
But
It
here's the
is,
thing,
yeah.
don't you think people can easily make connections where connections aren't there?
No,
Yeah.
no, man, no. You
Well,
gotta watch
I
this
think so, and I think some of those in the movie could be like a little iffy, but I just think that there's still so much.
All right, even
J-
even the launching pad thing. You know
Have
what
you
I'm
guys-
talking about, where the kids, the rocket. You know what I'm talking about? How long ago did you? So I just saw.
Sorry,
it,
no, I
like,
was thinking about something.
I saw
else.
it 2 days ago.
Have you
so
guys
it's
ever
so
been-
fresh in my mind?
Have you guys ever been to an air museum where they have the actual
come
moon landing?
H2.
No. This is the same thing.
Okay.
Like aside from the Kubrick's Odyssey, where they
Okay,
have like
okay.
all this stuff embedded in the film.
All right, yeah.
If you just look at some, like I've seen, I don't know if they're the actual. I think they're the mock-ups, but they're really flimsy looking and just a.
Here's the thing.
science
Then they're
behind it.
mock-ups.
Here's the thing. At the time of here's what you got to do. What is the incentive? Like, what is it that they're trying to do? Like, why was it important that we reached the moon at that time?
Okay,
To
And this is-
corrupt the Russian.
Yeah, and this is
government.
what you have to
I
think.
don't know.
Like,
I
this
don't
is
know.
how you have to kind of support your argument: is what does the U.S. have to gain in doing this? Like, what is it that they're trying to get?
No, but I don't think you have to have a reason. It's like the 9/11 conspiracies. Like you
At
don't
the
have
time-
to
at
know
the-
the reason to.
you
know
could have
that-
a reason. I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Hey, I'm
Sometimes.
not saying that, but I think that people try to shut down these arguments by saying, well, what's the reason? And if you don't have a reason, like, well, that means your argument's false.
No,
But it's
no,
like,
I get it,
hey,
I get it.
I don't know what their
That's
reason
why.
for
That's why
making a moon
you
landing.
use reasons to see like why it's possible that the moon landing could be fake.
That might be a deeper question. That's like kind of a little bit
It's like
more.
what
research that
does the
leads you
U.S.
down
have to
like
gain at the time? You know, they're obviously having a space race with Russia. I think
This
Russia
is what
at
they
the
have to
time-
gain. Most of the time, it's the space race itself. It's because Russia had to spend money on this, and they were trying to make Russia go bankrupt. That's what they were doing. They're trying to make Russia spend all their money on this.
Okay, but did they really need to actually fake it, or could they actually afford an actual moon landing?
I think they had to fake it. I don't think they had enough technology at that time, to be honest with you.
I mean, I think they have a lot
Like,
to gain to
I mean,
fake
they
it.
could. They could. I'm not going to say it. After watching that video, it's very.
But have you not seen any of the other videos? Like, there's a lot of
I mean,
videos
I've-
that show
I've-
like
no-
the science behind, like even, like, have you guys seen these modern aircraft, these U.S. military aircraft that land vertically?
You're talking about the Harrier jets.
The Harrier's
Are
one
you
of
talking
them.
about the F-35?
The F-35 is another one, like the JSF.
You talking about the Raptor?
F-35, one of the biggest failures in U.S. history.
And all I'm saying is that even now, like this many years later, they have a lot of difficulty landing an aircraft vertically
Well, I know they have a
in
lot
an
of.
atmosphere. And in the moon landing, they had this really bizarre looking bulky. If you look at it, I mean, you can
But
probably-
there's no atmosphere in the moon landing.
And I know, and I don't know if that's going to create more stability or less.
It would be
The atmosphere is basically a
less.
liquid. That's how airplanes fly. Is they're floating on liquid, so it's creating a stability and on the wings. But if they're basically
Liquid,
landing,
not a gas. Air is gas, isn't it?
well, gas is a liquid.
Exactly.
No,
gas
gas
is
is
gas
gas.
is a fluid.
Gas is a gas.
The
Yeah,
gas-
there's 3 states of a fluid. It's
Yeah,
going to be a
you got
solid, a liquid,
solid,
and a gas.
liquid gas.
Yeah.
Listen
If
to
you,
this dude. Listen.
if you cool down the atmosphere enough, we would all by far be dead. But yeah, eventually there'd be some sort of
Gas can turn into liquid. Yes.
the atmosphere.
That's
the
what rain
atmosphere
is.
would liquefy. We would be dead.
You know
We would
what?
be dead. That's why
I-
compressed natural gas,
I don't know about that.
liquid natural gas.
I mean, obviously, gas. No, listen, I get it. Maybe if you're saying that gas is a potential liquid. But
It's
is
a
it-
fluid.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
No. It's a fluid.
Like,
yeah.
it's fluid in its gaseousness or what?
Yeah. If you've never taken like intro to chemistry, I can see how it's confusing.
So
but-
we're talking kind of semantics. Then it's more wording.
well,
It's understanding of the wording that you're trying to say.
yeah, like an airplane or a car, they are
For instance-
traveling through a fluid.
For instance, gas is
it's
not a
air.
solid.
Air's a fluid, is what he's saying.
I get it.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is,
But is
fluid
it a
has
liquid?
3 states. It's in the gaseous state. It's in a gas state. That's why we call it air.
But is it a liquid?
Yeah, if you cool it down enough, yeah, definitely. It'll turn to liquid. And if you cool it down even further, it'll turn to a solid in
Okay.
the form of frozen.
But
All right,
frozen
at
fluid.
the time of its
You both
inception,
have your own points.
it
Let's,
is
let's move on to
not
something else
a liquid.
before everybody cuts off from this.
You know what's crazy? I wonder how many
The-
people there are that don't realize there's 3 states of a fluid. There's probably actually a lot. I bet a lot of people, like, I don't, how many people have been watching this? Say there's
I
like
don't know.
100 people.
I don't disagree with you in states of fluid or states of gas or states of solids.
I mean, here, watch. I could
But
probably Google it.
it is the 3 states of matter: solid, liquid, gas.
Yeah. And I
Gas
think there's
is
probably
gas,
like
it's not
another
a
one if
liquid.
you talk to some crazy physicist.
And then supposedly there's a 4th state. It's called
Physicist.
plasma. When gas becomes so hot that it actually becomes plasma.
Well, what's black matter
I
or
don't know.
dark matter?
Some kind of black hole or some super gravity field.
Yeah, they don't even know what that is yet. So technically, according to science, this could all be a.
Any substance that flows is considered a fluid. Gas is not flowing.
Yeah, see, you're not the only one asking this question. How can air be
Yep.
a fluid if it's a gas? Aren't fluids liquid? How things fly? Is there? Oh,
This is
see,
a,
that's
this
actually
could be
the same
virtual
thing.
reality.
Tell you what, let's go back to the topic at hand. We're not here to discuss
the moon
science.
landing. Oh, hey, but you know what though? That's the thing is like, I like the 9/11 stuff. So suspicious. Like, what's the reason? Why would they do that? I don't know. But if you're saying, like, when we were walking, I got off the Blue Line in downtown LA, and I was looking at those brand new Korean towers that are going up right there, or Chinese towers.
Yeah.
They're huge, and I was looking at these cement beams in the middle of it. I'm thinking like, okay, a jetliner flies through that,
Yeah, dude.
and it's going to cause a collapse like at a free fall rate. The way that
The older I get, the more I'm like, that shit was set up.
have you seen that?
The
that
older I get. The
hey, here's
more I'm
another
like-
one. If you haven't seen this, you should definitely watch. It's a Alex Jones one called Terror Storm.
Hell yeah.
You've seen
I
that?
love how you set it up.
First
it's an
off,
Alex Jones one.
You know,
Well,
by-
because you like that other one.
know
I love
by,
everything.
by mentioning Alex Jones, it completely like changes the type of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
it
might be
does.
listening and the credibility of your argument, maybe. 'Cause
Well,
then-
hey, I think like anyone that was already going to turn it off would have turned it off in like the first 7 minutes.
Well,
of
it's
our
not true.
talk.
Touche.
but
on
but
that,
here's the
you
thing.
know.
Here's the
They're
thing.
like, "Motherfuckers."
I think Alex Jones, maybe he's just not as nuanced into like. Because here's the thing.
He's so funny. He's
Whatever
such an entertainer.
Whatever he says, it disrupts order. And here's the thing: people want to live in that order. People want to be blissfully.
Not
blissfully-
everybody.
I'm saying
Yeah.
people. I didn't say everybody. No, here's the thing: I never said everybody. I said people. People want to live blissfully
Is it
unaware.
aren't everybody people?
Well, you know, like going out in the mountains and stuff, I've noticed this a lot. I feel like nature, and we're just like an element of that too, is my opinion. But I think things happen slowly and with a ton of order, And then every now and then, like in the case of like an avalanche or a mudslide or an earthquake, things just go to shit really quickly, and the change happens really quickly.
It's the chaos.
Yeah, and then like
It's the Loki.
but then as soon as that's over, immediately it's again peaceful. It's crazy, or it's like even a
From
crazy
chaos
I mean, that's pretty
comes
much how
order.
governments control their people. They have
Crazy
to
fire.
create order. You know, with all this, like if they show that there's all this disorder, then the government can't control their people.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
Yeah, true.
If
So, I
there's-
mean, if
there's a
Alex-
collapse in the confidence of government,
If anything that Alex Jones says is true, which I'm sure some of it he says is true, and a
yeah,
lot
some
of
of
it
the
is
stuff
just
he says isn't
speculation.
even that crazy, and then some of the stuff he says is just like, it's just
The
funny.
water's turning the frogs gay.
Dude, it's the way he said. You
I
guys
don't
ever-
disagree. I don't disagree with what he says, but you know, like something I can see his point. You know, like
Yeah.
a lot of times there's a lot of information that we just don't
It's the
know
way
that
he
we're
says it,
aware.
though.
And here's the thing: a lot of us just don't care about knowing this stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
but-
there's so much to know, right?
But at the same time, I think for me, someone like Alex Jones loses credibility not because he's crazy about his ideas, but because of some of the stuff he advertises during commercials, like penis pills and.
That's
have
how
you
he
seen
makes
how
that
much he
money,
makes off
dude.
that stuff?
That's how he makes
Huh?
that money.
Watch this. This is crazy.
I'm like,
He makes
Dude, he's a-
sick money.
it's
insane.
like that. When you advertise that, it's like what you say actually makes you look even crazier. You know, like.
All right, so I had an idea before all this Alex Jones talk went down. When you're talking about the disorder, and you need to create disorders so the government can have more control over you, so they'll have a reason to have control over you.
Yeah.
So the thing to stop that is education. Educate people to have more responsibility on themselves, so they don't need the government.
I don't think you can do anything to educate people. I think that people need to be willing to be educated.
But there's a line between that. Okay, there's a line between I don't give a shit about nothing and I care about my life. And it's like, how do you make people cross that line? And the only way is to research people and learn like what they care about in their hearts and in their souls. And
Maybe sometimes people just don't know what they care about. Maybe they don't have really a purpose.
and I think that's what's going on. The mainstream media is what is the culture now. So they don't know what
actually
to follow.
it's a falling culture now.
Yeah.
It's definitely being hit hard this year. Like you can tell in the subscriptions and the money that they're making, they're not making as much money. You look at companies like the NFL who try to become political and people just unsubscribe from them and they're losing money and then it's funny because the whole kneeling for the flag thing only lasted a week and then they decided how stupid it was and how much money they were losing. And at the bottom line, it was how much money were they losing by doing that?
Yeah.
So therefore they're like, okay, you know what? We're not going to allow our players to kneel for the flag anymore. Not to appease people, but because they know they were losing business. They were losing subscribers. And
It's their ideologies on money
yeah,
more than morals.
I think a lot of these big companies isn't about ideology. It's more about making money in the long run.
Well, no. The ideology of money first before morals.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But also moral is, I mean,
It's like they say morals, but they don't give a shit about morals. It's just because other people care about morals and they can make money saying they care about morals.
yeah, they want to go with whatever way makes more money.
Yeah,
Are you guys
exactly.
talking about the NFL doing
Well,
the whole?
we're talking about NFL and companies in general.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I think that NFL thing was like more likely than not like some sort of little conspiracy thing to try to cause trouble. Like I don't think they care at all about the players.
No, of course not.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. I heard you guys say, and like this whole thing, like, oh, we can't control them. It's like, no, actually, you can. It'd be like us getting fired from our
Yeah,
hotel.
it is a private business. Like
Yeah.
people
Oh yeah,
can do
you
what
could
they
definitely.
want.
Yeah, the players are employees of the if the business
Like
says
they
that
don't
can
they
sit,
don't go to
can sit.
jail for that, but can they get fired for that? Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
definitely, yeah.
I think it is within an employer's right to fire them.
What's up with Jerry Jones? Like, I guess he's in a little civil war with the commissioner. of the
I know
NFL.
nothing. I
was
don't
reading
know.
about
I
that,
don't know anything about Jerry Jones.
He's the
Speak up.
only NFL team owner that has gone against every other team owner. I think
For what? Like
his teams, the Dallas Cowboys, are the only team that have never actually sat down.
No, he kneeled, but he did it a certain way where it wasn't.
He did
so-
it before the national anthem, and
he
then they
did
all
it
got up.
he
I
did it
read the details.
beforehand. Yeah.
Now I haven't seen the video, so
And
I might
which
be
I
wrong,
thought
but-
was, God bless him, dude.
Well, I think he had a talk with his team. He's like, anyone that doesn't do it this way, you're off the team or you're bench stressed here, whatever. He's probably like, I'm rich.
God bless Texas.
Yeah, and now I think he's like in this weird fight with the commissioner.
Well,
Dude, the commissioner makes bank.
it'll break down to money. It all breaks down to money. If you didn't know by now, it all
I
breaks
mean,
down to money.
when people watch channels like ESPN, they don't want to watch for politics. They want to watch sports, and the more that channels like ESPN just talk about politics, it's like I think it's actually driving viewers away.
It is because obviously like sports is for fantasy. Sports is, they call it fantasy football. I mean, people are living a fantasy within a fantasy within a fantasy. It's like you don't want to be bombarded with the real stuff that that actually affects your life. I mean, come on. Let's worry about stats about how many touchdowns somebody made last week. Come on. How many interceptions were there?
Yeah, Kyle, you're one of the few that got out of the obsession. You know, like coming up here on the train today, I guess there's an NFL game today. But yeah, you don't
Cool.
follow it anymore.
Well,
But you played football in high school,
I did
right?
play football. I love football. I think sports in general are awesome.
Dude,
But
you grew up a little.
But I feel like
Right.
it just comes down to the amount of money that people pour into sports, like buying a $15 30-ounce beer.
Oh,
Like
yeah, that's just
Jesus
crazy, right?
Christ, and then
Yeah.
buying a $100 jersey when some guy in Indonesia like put it together for 10 cents. The material's worth $1, and you're paying $100. It's like, come on, bro.
So, are you taking a moral stance on this? Is this why you don't support it?
No. I think people need an outlet, and it's whatever you choose is your outlet. Like, I can't say it's, but I can't condemn people for like supporting. But me personally, to my personal experience and my priorities, supporting and putting my time into something that has absolutely no effect whatsoever on my life is a waste of my time.
Actually,
To me personally.
I'm gonna
But
agree-
other people, it's their entertainment. I watch YouTube videos and make YouTube videos for my entertainment. So I can't judge people about, what they choose to be the entertainment. But me personally, I feel like me watching people talk about sports, even people talking, they're not even playing the game. They're just talking about sports. And you're spending your day and your life and your time looking at people talk about something that they don't have any control over the game. They're just talking about it.
You know what I thought? Like in a lot of these schools, they diagnose these students. A lot of students are like diagnosed as having a learning disability. And I'll listen to these same
Sorry.
students, and I'm like,
Sorry for the rant.
oh, no. It's on the same thing. But dude, a lot of these people that like have a learning disability or like they have trouble, like it's like, I just think that they haven't found something that they're interested in, because these same people that are like, not so smart or whatever, they can they have a photogenic memory for
You know
these player stats.
Yeah,
I'm like, how do you,
Intelligent people.
Actually, you know what?
Kevin R. You know who I'm talking
You
about.
know what the
Kevin.
you know
Dude,
what-
he knows every sport thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, how do you even?
Kevin's really smart.
You know what the
He is,
issue
yeah.
is actually on that aspect? It's not like that they're incapable of learning. It's that
It's boring.
it's that in the U.S. we have a one-size-fits-all mentality when it comes to educating children.
I agree. Yeah,
Here's the
totally,
thing,
yeah.
that's not how it should be. It's like
It's
you have
not.
a common core and whatnot.
Yeah,
That's
I'm arguing the
crazy.
same
That's
point as you
crazy.
right
Here's the
now.
thing,
just in a different way,
everyone's
yeah.
different, so people learn different ways, and you can't force everyone to be interested in a certain subject. You
That's
gotta
what I
let
think,
people
yeah.
do what they're naturally inclined to do, and therefore be interested in.
Yeah, I
And
feel
to
the
say
same
that
way.
it's a learning disorder, no, it's not a learning disorder.
I
It's
know,
more
and that's
of
why
a-
they blanket them all, and then they end up drugging them up. I mean, they're like administering out ADD medication, shit like that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
You
I'm
get
someone.
these-
I'm someone who I thought I was diagnosed with ADHD or
Yeah,
whatever.
dude, you definitely don't have it, is my opinion. Even if they tell you have it, like you're
No.
smart in your own
No.
ways. Like
I
you're
don't.
good
Here's
at
the thing. I
Yeah.
think they created a diagnosis of something that they wanted to call something, so they can either get funding and prescribe certain pills.
Dude,
to-
it's all
to
about
change
money
it.
Yeah.
on this one. Yeah, I think this
Here's the
one's
thing.
like
I think
completely
people
about
with
drugging people up.
ADHD, they have a certain skill set that people without it don't have, which means they have a different personality type, which allows them to be successful at
different
other
skills. Oh,
certain
ADHD,
skills.
yeah.
Than had they not had it.
Yeah,
And I think there's just not a platform for them to shine as much
Dude, we used to think
as the common core.
autistic people were retarded and didn't have a brain.
Who's we?
Well,
Just
science,
yeah.
science in general. The human world used to think that people who are autistic and couldn't move were dead inside,
vaccines. Haven't you guys? I don't
and
actually.
now we know they're there.
Oh, yeah,
Well, obviously they're there, but most autistic people are
you-
correlated with.
The only reason you know that they're there is because doctors did research and found out that they're
I think
there.
there's a lot more.
Well,
now
I don't
than
know.
there used to
When
be.
I first off,
like
no,
very
I'm not
autistic
talking
people
about
that
they're
are
in the head.
frozen.
No, typically,
Like they can't move.
typically autistic. Are you talking about cerebral palsy? Because that's a totally different thing than autism. But autism is more of an antisocial disorder.
There's different levels of
Yeah,
autism.
of course, it's an autism spectrum, but mostly you can tell if someone's autistic if socially they're not there. Like socially, they can't interact the same way that other people in society can. And
It's a
that's
pretty
typically how you
vague.
can tell.
It's a really vague definition.
Like
I
you
see a lot
can't
of- I
look
study
at
a lot of
someone
autistic
and
students.
say, "Oh, that guy's autistic." You have to see his social interactions for quite a bit until you realize he might be autistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then
Now,
okay,
some people you can look at and know that they're autistic. They
I-
have, they have
I
specific
agree with both of you guys on
facial
this one.
features, like without a doubt.
Are
bro.
you talking about like
Facial?
mental
I'm not sure about
retardation?
facial.
Yeah. If you can look at some people who are autistic, you can look at them and they have characteristics, physical characteristics, like their
Yeah.
face looks a certain way, their eyes look a certain
Wait,
way.
you're
I
not
don't
talking
know
about
if you're
Down syndrome?
referring to autistic people or if you're referring to just
a Downey.
a mental, a mentally disabled
I might
spectrum.
be thinking about Down syndrome.
Well,
That's
Down
what it
syndrome and autism are way different.
Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah.
thinking about
Autistic
Down
people are.
syndrome. I'm totally thinking about Down syndrome.
Okay,
Kyle,
that's completely different. That's
Yeah,
an
you
You
extra
better edit this
chromosome
whole
right
part
there.
out so that people
I
are
will.
like, Kyle doesn't
It's
know
like-
what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I'm just gonna actually keep this in there because it'll be
it's-
funny.
I will. Everybody enjoy that laugh right now. I
Down
can feel you
syndrome.
laugh.
That's completely.
Kyle, are you talking about this?
Yes, I'm in Down syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Down
yeah.
syndrome. Down syndrome is like there's no dispute. If you made someone with Down syndrome, you're
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
something's
that's-
wrong.
what I was thinking about.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Down syndrome, I mean, typically they're not all there, but you look at this
I think
actress.
they're geniuses. They just speak a
No.
different language.
You look at this actress who's in pretty much
I don't
every.
think they're self-reliant. I think they wouldn't survive in the
No,
wild.
no, no. Look,
True
look,
that,
look,
true
look,
that.
listen.
Yes, I agree with that.
You ever seen the
But
what's that show that's out? It's kind of like they have a different theme every season, but it has the same actors. It's like kind of like a horror.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
American Horror Story.
Oh no, I don't know what you're talking. Okay, never mind.
I was just on the first episode of the.
Okay,
There
there is a Down syndrome actress that plays, and she plays in a lot of those seasons, and she looks really capable.
Wait, hold on. Let me Google this one. I don't.
She looks really capable.
It must be really, really, really slight Down syndrome.
No, it's noticeably.
Let me see.
like-
Down syndrome actress. Down. You're telling me there's
American
a Down
Horror Story.
syndrome actress?
Yeah, American Horror Story.
Hey, how come your computer doesn't do auto prediction? It's gonna
It's-
predict a bunch of porn.
Oh, no, it's so I can teach myself how to spell. I guess.
But also,
Is that really why? Did you turn it off for that? That's kind of.
But also,
this girl?
still on the topic of Down syndrome. I saw
Jamie Brewer.
Well, I'm shocked if I have to read about this.
I saw an anti-abortion proponent who was actually Down syndrome, and you know how a lot of abortionists or pro-abortionists say, you know, oh, if it's Down syndrome, you know, they can't live a meaningful life, like, so why not abort them, you know, if you know that they're gonna have Down syndrome. And this Down syndrome adult spoke in one of these clips and said, hey, listen, I have Down syndrome.
She does kind of look like she has Down syndrome.
And you say that my life is meaningless. I actually believe that my life has meaning and I enjoy my life. So who are you to say that I can't live a meaningful life?
Without a doubt, amen.
And that's funny because it's like you have a Down syndrome person saying this, and it's like, you know what? You know, this is the first time you actually have a conservative argument that's not going the base of logic, but they're actually using pathos, which is actually the tool of the Democrats. Typically, all their arguments are pathos arguments, which, for the viewers, whoever views this, doesn't know what pathos means. It's argument appealing to emotion, which is a lot of what the
Like rhetoric.
leftists do. Now, conservatives typically appeal using logic, which is logos, and sometimes ethos, which is ethics/morals. But the Down syndrome person who's actually anti-abortion or pro-life was actually using the left weapon against himself, which is actually using emotion to argue something, which I'm like, kudos, because that's the only way you can reach the left is to fight emotion with emotion. And here's the thing. When we argue with people on the left, we can't argue logic with them. We have to argue emotions to be effectively arguing, which kind of sucks for us because we're logic-based, but They aren't.
You're saying you think conservatives are more logical based than
When they look, a lot of times when conservatives make arguments, they're talking about policy. I mean, despite this, except for Donald Trump, obviously, but when you look at the left, they usually make emotional arguments. Oh, it's not the right thing to do, or oh no, how do you feel if this happened? It's not logic based. But that's why Republicans, when they make like bills and stuff, it's typically based off of logic and reasoning as opposed to emotions. Oh, think about the pollution or whatnot.
I think it's about money.
No, fiscally.
I think either way it's about money.
Republicans are fiscally conservative, and the fact that Trump pulled out of the Paris climate ordeal, which I heavily support, because it is about the money. We would get the most screwed. We had to pay half the bill for the world's involvement in this, while China and India could pollute as much as they want for the next 10 years. How is this going to help us with pollution and if these guys are allowed to pollute?
But CNN doesn't say it like that. They say, oh, this corporate or this agreement that is supposed to save the environment, U.S. denies it and will not be a part of it. They are sucky people.
Here's the thing. I think we're at the point of pollution where adding, like, we reach like kind of so when you reach a certain amount of pollution, it goes up like this. But then when you get to a certain amount, it only goes like this. It doesn't raise up. It kind of plateaus, slightly increasing, but when we reach that state, it's not like any more is going to do that like a significant amount of damage. It's like it's already at that point where it's at the high threshold.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about yet, Kyle. We haven't talked about climate change. That's another.
I think we
topic.
have to actually. We can't discuss this because I don't think any of us have enough information about it to like kind of make a informed opinion.
Yeah.
Can you look into my brain right now? Do you know what's in my head?
No.
All right.
Can you?
Here's the thing that I think about the climate change stuff is that I'm all for like electrification or like zero pollution for selfish reasons because I love being in a clean city.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I think we could like try our hardest to destroy the world, and the very worst we would do is maybe kill ourselves off. And I don't even know if we could really kill ourselves off. Like this will come back.
Yeah, just
that'll come back no matter how how hot you
look at the meteor impact that hit the world supposedly 65 million years ago. I mean, the world wasn't shit for millions of years, and somehow, I mean, it was probably way hotter back then. So what does if you're going off of
this
temperature
stuff will come
heat,
back.
like
I just and I think that they shouldn't raise taxes. I think if they're going to try to start taxing people for I don't know if you're saying that they're trying to tax people for the Paris Accord or whatever.
No. Well.
If somehow they're going to raise our carbon tax, I am pretty suspicious of that stuff.
But not just that.
I'm like, you guys need to tax us more, and that's going to stop.
There's also the argument about these clean energy initiatives that actually hurt people in poverty because they can't afford these things.
I also wonder, is electric cars really that? Because they're just going from mining the earth for petroleum products to mining the earth for battery products. You know how they get these batteries? They're just
I guess
and then the acid is left over.
Yeah, I'm wondering on the whole total scale. It does seem like it would be
really helping out.
Yeah, who knows?
That's actually a good point you bring up. Is the lack of is the removal of a certain pollutant, is it going to add more to another pollutant? Is what you're saying? Like the battery acid. People don't think about hybrid vehicles where the battery is disposed in I don't even know if it can be disposed, but
I don't know what happens.
Like Priuses,
there's not much talk about it either.
Like about 10 years, and what happens to the battery? Like, what are they gonna do with it? Is it like plastic where they can't get rid of it, or?
Yeah, they might just be changing the form of it's like lowering, like if your taxes are lowered in one area and then raised in the other area.
No. These clean energy initiatives actually raise taxes, and it actually hurts the people who can't afford it, like people in poverty. You look at it's funny. They had this clean energy summit in somewhere in Cancun or Mexico, somewhere around there. And it's like you had they're actually creating more pollution.
Oh, dude, it's a joke. It's like, Kyle, you see this stuff with these little. Sorry to interrupt you, but you see this. No, do you see this bullshit? It's the same bullshit you're talking about there, where they have these. That's what I'm saying. It's like they fly in all these people to do these climate.
They use all this power and air conditioning that actually creates a lot of pollution, and yet they're trying to. It's like they're being hypocritical.
Dude, in catering, do you work these events where they're they they create these absurd events with like high costs for
Do you
for
mean
a cause.
Do you mean I'm working an event where it's an environmental cause to, like, let's say
It doesn't even matter.
save the earth,
Or
and
drilling
then
wells.
they take all the plastic bottles and they throw them directly into the garbage and they don't recycle one plastic
Dude,
bottle,
these-
something like that.
yeah, these
Do
people
you
are
mean
just
something
going
like
there
that?
to-
Have
they're
I worked
making a
something
point.
like that? Yeah.
They're just networking, man. The whole
It's
thing's
about
a big
money,
joke.
y'all.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's
It's
about
about money. It's about
money.
ideology. It's about politics.
These
in the
people
end.
that are throwing
Money
these
is
events,
money
like,
is an
whatever.
idol, bro. Some people,
Like-
when all that you care about is making money, money becomes an idol.
Well,
Well,
duh.
yeah. I see what you're saying there. Hey, I'm gonna fill this up with water real quick.
Oh yeah, so let me take this time to thank Troy Carlton. Thank you very much, Troy, for letting me borrow this shotgun mic that CK is currently. I can bleep that out if you want me to. That CK is currently using to speak on. Thank you, Troy. We really appreciate you supporting the What Do You Believe podcast. We appreciate it, and all those out there that send me messages. Thank you very much for your support. Like Sam, I hope you like the new improved background. My buddy Sam hit me
Sam?
up. I have a buddy Sam. He's actually going to be on a new reality show called The Antagonist.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he was like, "Man, I love your stuff, man. I've been listening to it, but you got to do something about the background."
That's funny.
So I
The
was
green
like-
screen, right?
I was like, "Fair enough, man. You keep listening. I'll change the background. You let me know what it looks like next time." But oh yeah, so one of the main reasons I wanted to ask Chris Kim to come upon this podcast is we were having a conversation earlier, maybe a week ago, about the Asian American discrimination.
Is that what you want to continue on with?
Well, yeah. That's one of the main points that I haven't really heard of too much at all. And
That's because-
you're the one that brought it up at work, and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of damn sense. And I feel like other people should hear what you had to say.
Well, I mean, you look at
Over here.
you look at the demographics of the U.S. and it's about 6 to 7% Asian, right? And you look at the black population, it's about 13-14%, and in the Hispanic, which is either around the same amount or even probably raising. In the news, a lot of these protests and in the news media about the most oppressed people, you got black people and you got Hispanics who are typically the one in these protests. They're fighting for things that I guess supposedly they don't have rights or whatever. Here's the thing: they actually get the most benefits for being a certain race. Like a lot of these places, they have quotas for how many black or Hispanic people we should hire and whatnot. And it's like they're literally getting an edge for nothing they have control over. And you look at Asians, they're actually getting discriminated. Like you look at these schools, and here's the thing: the Asian culture typically, they want their kids to succeed, like really focus on studying and whatever. And not all these Asians come from like high socioeconomic background. Some of these Asians are poor, but somehow because of the culture.
The culture.
The culture, like their parents wanting them to succeed, like push them to strive. Like you look
Their
at the,
parents.
you look at the Koreans that came in the 1960s, right? The Koreans didn't come from money. They actually had to create these like little businesses like liquor stores and stuff, which weren't in the greatest areas. I mean, you look at the LA riots, right? A lot of Korean businesses got destroyed in LA during the Rodney King riots.
Right.
And those guys obviously didn't have money. They were just trying to run these little rundown liquor stores. And their kids are the ones that were trying to be successful and go to school. It's not like they came from, wealth or they didn't have privilege. They were actually probably made fun of at the time, for being chinks or whatever. And somehow, because of their family values and whatever the U.S. values had, allowed them to succeed based off their culture. It just worked well within the system. And now Asians are probably the most successful in terms of money per capita than any other group. Here's the thing.
Indians.
Huh?
Asians and Indians, American Indians from India.
Well, Indians are Asians, technically.
That's true. Okay.
But,
Well, I think that is true. Like,
Yeah,
India is
yeah,
and
part
you
of
look at
Asia,
India, they're
True,
not
true.
necessarily a rich country.
Well, I've looked at the same.
They're-
I've looked at the same numbers you're talking
But
about.
whatever the case, it's like, and then you got this affirmative action thing where a lot of these colleges are actually penalizing Asians just for being Asian. Like,
I haven't heard that part.
like white people.
You have to make higher
Here's the thing.
scores.
White people have No penalization. They just don't get anything. They just have zero.
Well, there's
Neutral.
basically a reverse
They're neutral.
discrimination going on.
White
It's
people
not,
are
no,
neutral.
It's not reverse discrimination. It is discrimination.
We
There's
are
no
the
such
line.
thing as reverse discrimination. It's discrimination.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
Whatever the
I
case.
agree.
So white people, they use white people as the base.
Right.
White people make up 50% of the U.S. population, and they're the base, right? So they get 0 extra points on their, SAT scores, while
Yeah.
as opposed to black people get like the highest disparity, like they get like
Wait.
180 some
Hold
points.
on, I haven't heard this. You're saying that if you're like if you're black, that they give you a bump on your SAT?
Yes,
Are you sure about that?
I am dead sure.
Dude, I'm 33. I don't think it was like that when I was in high school.
Not when you were in high school. Not when I was in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe I don't know. It depends, but maybe around my area.
That
or
shit's
you're younger.
dangerous when they do that stuff.
But guess what? So Latinos get a bump like by 100 points. Hispanics, black people get a bump by like a little more than Hispanics.
Because they're trying to boost them into college?
Asians, here's the fucked up part. Asians actually get minus points.
Hold on, are you sure about this?
Minus like 50 points.
So
That sounds like absurdly crazy.
Who takes these points away from these?
So here's where I'm a little
Classes.
iffy. I'm a little iffy on the exactly like to what extent. I don't think it's the government that takes away these points. I think it's the actual schools themselves that implement affirmative action that does this.
So I've definitely heard of like Harvard and some Ivy League schools of requiring Asian people to have higher SAT scores to get into them.
Well, it's not that they're having higher SAT scores. It's just they get a minus score from the get-go. So, if like, let's say, I'm using.
So if they made what I think they changed it since
They
I-
did. I think it's like
since I-
2,400.
Yeah, it's 2,400 now.
or what, something like that.
Yeah. So let's say I made a 2,200, and
As
I'm Asian.
Then you would get like minus 50 points.
So technically I made
Hey, Chris.
or
Sorry, go ahead.
a 2,150.
Yeah.
But I'm looking right here.
According
I'm
to
trying
that
find
school.
this. Are you saying that the school will deduct it, or when you
I
send
think
in
the
your
school deducts.
Okay, you're not saying that when you send in your test to the SAT
No, they're not going to
scoring
deduct it,
board.
obviously.
Okay, that's what that you're saying. That was like that's
No, no, no,
crazy, man.
no, no.
That's what's going on.
But
Okay.
no, even then,
that's really
even then, it's still pretty stupid for a place like Harvard, which is known for their prestige.
Yeah.
Why would they lower their prestige and their requirements just so that they can fulfill the quota? That
Because
doesn't make sense.
there would be nothing but Asians going to that school.
Well, you know what? That's not their fault.
If
That's-
it's
Have you guys been to Caltech? We went to Caltech a couple days ago.
What?
Caltech is mostly Asians.
Well, that's
I know,
true.
right?
You look
That's
at
why.
you look
Yeah.
at UCLA, right? It's mostly Asians. You look at UC Irvine, mostly Asian. Here's the
Well,
thing.
hold on.
Asians' lives matter.
Here's the thing. Asians, it's in their culture to do that. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. You never see them on the news complaining about being oppressed. No, it's not that they're oppressed.
Well, they're not getting shot at by cops as well. You got to think about that too.
Well, are they acting in a way that would make them get shot by
I
cops?
agree with both of you guys on this one. Yeah.
They're not. They're
Because
you
I've
know-
seen, but I've seen videos of racist cops, and I've seen videos of cops shooting people that were gonna get shot.
Yeah. Here's your thing. You know how
Like
you
some-
not.
some of these-
you know how you not get shot. Don't do anything. Stay in your car.
If the
follow
cop
the
tells you
law.
to get on the ground, you get on the
Yeah,
ground.
but have you guys seen these videos? I've seen a bunch of these videos on YouTube, and it's not like it's a blanket situation where it's not all cops aren't racist. You know, like yeah, there might be a racist cop out there for sure.
No,
For sure.
I think
don't
most
doubt
cops are good cops.
that. They probably are.
I would say the
Probably most are,
majority.
yeah.
The majority are.
And then
But-
it's just you see these isolated incidents of these cops doing bad things, which
Yeah.
I don't disagree that there are such things as bad cops.
Oh, for sure
but-
there are. Yeah.
But it's like
Roll your window down. If they ask you to roll your window, I've seen so many videos where these people refuse to roll the window down. and then-
Why do you want me to roll my window down?
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
do I
don't
have to
ask
give you
questions.
my
Don't be
ID?
stupid. It's like just do it. Maybe you won't have any problems. If you have nothing to hide, like for instance, let's say I committed a traffic offense. All I did was commit a traffic offense. I get the ticket. I'll take the ticket. But a lot of times people maybe they have a felon or maybe they have like they're on probation, and that's probably why they react the way they do. They don't want to get caught for doing something that they're already
Yeah,
punished
hey,
for
let me
doing.
highlight like stupid white people. That way, I don't want black people
Of
to feel like
course,
I'm
of course.
Have you
Let's talk
seen?
about-
This is like a white person thing, basically. There's this movement called the sovereign citizen movement.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the flat earther guy.
No, have you seen these sovereign citizens?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. Is this you?
So while David's looking that up, there's
Just
a
Google
guy,
it.
There's
Just-
a guy in
yeah.
flat that is in California that's going to shoot a rocket into the air to prove that the Earth is flat.
Dude, it'd be so funny if it turned out he was right. He's like, I told you, motherfuckers, it is flat.
Here's the thing. At times,
NASA's like, damn it.
at times I don't know if they truly believe that the Earth is flat or if they're trying to make a point as in to question everything you hear, which I agree with that statement. But
No, I think I I think some people honestly believe the world is flat.
Have you seen
Without
this?
a doubt.
You guys have never seen this? There's like sovereign citizen compilations. This is like a white person thing, like these white hippies.
I don't know.
Dude, they all deserve to get tased or shot.
So
or
what
whatever
is this
happens.
called?
I think pretty
What
much
is
all
this called?
hipsters
Sovereign
deserve to
citizen.
get
What's
tased or
this?
shot.
We gotta talk about this so people that are just listening to the podcast can understand what's going on.
Sovereign citizens like this movement. It's like almost like this conspiracy theory.
Like Alex Jones-esque.
Yeah, it's like there's this theory that, and it might be true, who knows, but good luck actually telling this to a cop, like a guy he's not a lawyer, he's a cop, telling him that you don't have to have a license plate on your car and you don't have to have a driver's license, and that the vehicle is like a vessel of God, and that you're driving across God's land.
It's all religious. It's based off religious.
It's a religious nut.
It's why you don't have to pay taxes if you're a church.
Yeah, well, okay. Hey, no, that's fine, but good luck telling that to a cop. Like,
Well, I mean-
watch this guy. This guy's in court. This happened in Oklahoma, where I grew
Onto
up.
that subject of
Judge doesn't take sovereign citizen nonsense.
Well, watch
is
what he's
the,
doing to these guys.
And he's debating this. So we're looking at I'll throw it up there on the video, on the YouTube video. So the guy that's philosophically debating.
Dude, he's berating. He's just berating the bailiffs, the court police officers, and the judge is about to come in the room, and he's just yelling at them.
But he's laying some damn truth to him though, a little bit in his mind, of course.
Dude, in his mind, but you can't. It's like the same thing with the cop asking you to roll your window down. Just roll it down. Don't get into a philosophical debate like
He's
in
like,
the moment.
he's like, son, you should be talking to the people because they made the laws that made you here.
It's like an NFL player like debating whether or not people should get hit while he's on the field or something.
Oh yeah, let's.
Watch what happens when the judge comes in. The judge walks in. He takes her for like 3 seconds. He's like, "Tase him, motherfucker."
So the judge walks in. This guy's debating why he's there, and then the judge walks in and says, "Tase him."
Yeah, I mean,
And then the judge
the
gets
judge
him to
walks
tase
in.
him.
Well, the judge walks in. He's like,
wait. Why is the maker of this video called All Lives Matter? What is?
Well, it's
what-
probably like an anti-all black.
I know, but why are they showing this video here? Like, what does
I
that
don't
have
know.
to
You
do
know,
with
maybe they just do. A bunch
Maybe
of,
they're
like,
just trying to get hits and trying to make some money
actually,
off
you
of
know what?
YouTube.
They're making a good
you
point
know,
by having
is it
this
a-
you
video.
know, maybe
it
they're
a
just trying to
troll
make some money
account,
off
is
of
what I'm saying?
YouTube.
Do you think it's just a troll account?
No, look,
Like a troll.
Look,
It
honestly,
could
like,
be,
this
but
is the same thing.
they're
where
making money. It's America.
all lives matter. Like
Well,
what they might be saying
YouTube,
here.
they
is
did
actually black people
demonetize
stupid.
anything that is anti-liberal. So this seems like it would be anti-liberal.
Well, who knows how much they're making it? I mean, who knows?
Like
But I
pretty
mean,
much all of Mark Dice's videos.
I
are-
couldn't imagine you doing something.
No, he's demonetized. Like his videos don't make any money.
I know,
Oh, really?
all right,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's not crazy. It's liberal.
but
YouTube
you
won't
get most
give
of your
them-
money through merchandise and advertising. Like paychecks that YouTube gives you are very small.
No, it's
The-
based off of advertising. I'm saying advertisers won't advertise on your video. That's
No.
what it means to be
I'm
demonetized.
saying like he says, "Hey, thanks Nature Box for giving me some snacks today." Like he advertises on his videos.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's how he gets money. Like cuz YouTube doesn't give you crap.
Well, I'm saying with the ads they do, like when if the video is monetized, they allow you to run ads on your video.
Yeah, but that all has to do with YouTube paying you that money. Cuz those ads are run on YouTube. So YouTube pays you that money. So
I'm kind of zoning out.
So
here.
the
What do you
YouTube money is not as good and will never be as good as you selling merchandise or doing
That's why
direct
Alex,
advertisements on your video.
is that why Alex Jones
it's like-
switched to that?
So let's say
No, I get it. I get what you're saying.
okay, cool.
You don't need to explain. I know what you're saying. It's like
Alright, cool.
WWE. Like the reason why they push certain wrestlers is based off of how much merchandise they can sell. That's how they make money.
I was reading the WWE when they set it up. They did this
Sure.
like ingenious thing where they categorized it as entertainment instead of a sport because there's a huge tax break by doing that. Have you read about that?
No.
Yeah, it was like people were like,
McMahon.
Yeah,
He's
they're
a smart mofo.
hey, he's a businessman.
He graduated
Yeah,
from
he's a
East
smart-
Carolina University, baby.
Did he
That's where I
really?
graduated. Yeah, he's a
the
pirate.
founder, is it?
Arr,
He's a smart businessman,
McMahon.
but he is a bastard. He's a scumbag for sure.
I think all
He's
businessmen know
not,
that,
dude.
sorry.
You think he's a scumbag because he's an actor too, and he's made you think that.
No, that's not why I think he's a scumbag. No, I think he actually prevents certain stars from, like, if he doesn't like their gimmick because he's not with the times, like he won't make them succeed.
Well, he's a businessman, and if you don't think something's going to succeed, he's going to put something else in front that he thinks is going to succeed.
But lately, actually, the WWE is making less money because people just aren't watching the crap. But a lot of the stuff that's going on right now is based off of his decisions.
Well, how do you know it's his decisions? It could be his daughter.
No, it's his. Everyone knows pretty much at the end of the day, Vince McMahon makes all the decisions.
So you think she's just getting a paycheck and he's just making the decisions?
Oh, Vince McMahon.
Well, obviously, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He's still owner of the company.
Yeah, if he owns a business, I mean, he's basically just promoting what he thinks is good. There's nothing wrong with that, with being a douche. If you're a business owner, you don't have to be nice.
No, but I'm saying the WWE ratings are like falling, and he's not probably. I don't know how much money he's making, but
that means he's a bad businessman in the moment. But it doesn't,
I know, but he's gonna obviously. I mean, he's old right now. He's gonna obviously be set in his ways, like all old people are.
Yeah, I agree with you. But that's like saying, like at the hotel we work at, like if they give us a different uniform because they think it's gonna reflect better on them and make them more money.
Oh, I think our new uniforms suck. Oh shit!
Oh, I was just trying to give an example. I don't actually want to talk about the uniforms.
I don't want this.
Do we have new
uniforms? No, our uniforms that we currently have.
Let's talk about something else right now.
Make sure you cut this off.
All right, and
Well, just don't say their name.
Talk about something else now.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to delete that. We don't say the name. I think
No,
it's
we
people.
don't.
Yeah, don't say.
We're
the name.
totally good.
No, hey, but I was just using it as an example. I wasn't really trying to talk about the uniform. I was just saying, is WWE a privately owned
Well, obviously,
entity?
of course it is.
Is it okay?
It's a business. It's
Yeah.
Yes.
private
Well,
owned
the
business.
stuff like the NFL and the Major League Baseball.
Private owned.
I know, but they had this like a U.S. government granted monopoly. The UFC does.
So they get money from the government.
Yeah, that's why there's only
To
one
like build
football league.
stadiums and stuff like that too.
A lot of it's subsidized by the taxpayers.
Well, what do you
Yeah.
want to talk about? You want to talk about unions right now? Because we're both.
Hey, unions is an
Do-
interesting one.
Do you feel like talking about unions?
Well, here's the thing. There's actually going on in my work right now.
Oh, I mean, let's roll with it.
But will the pay rate go up?
Here's the thing. It's not guaranteed.
In a nice libertarian world, yeah, I don't want to have a union either. But man, I sure like working at the unionized hotel that I work at because there's no way I'd make that much in
Okay,
Oklahoma.
let me put this into perspective.
Or acting.
Let me
union
put
same-
this
yeah,
into
yeah, sorry, go
perspective
ahead.
for you.
Yeah.
Would you rather be making a higher wage, or would you rather be making a higher earning?
What's the difference?
Difference is wage is how much you get per hour. Earning is how much you actually make.
Per year?
Like how much combined, like total cumulative money you make.
Like gross.
Well, dude, I feel like that's a kind of a semantical argument. How
Yeah.
much? What's on your W-2? What's
No,
your gross?
listen,
what's your
listen,
gross
listen.
revenue
Wage
per hour's
Wage
work?
means how much do you make an hour. Earnings means how much did you make that year.
I would rather make more money that year.
So
Obviously.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
You're
Listen.
just splitting up something.
No,
that's-
it's correlated. Let me ask. Okay.
All right.
Would you rather make $70 an hour 1 day a week for 8 hours, or would you rather make $50 an hour 2 days a week?
I'd rather make $50 an hour 2 days a week.
So the fact that you say, "Oh, I'm getting paid much," that's not doing much for your earnings. You're actually losing work because you're getting paid more. Typically,
I don't think it's that easy of an argument. The one
It's not. It's because, and there's also some there's like a group of people that had, I should just talk about it. I should stop talking.
Yeah. No, let's just. I
You're
think
talking
I know.
about the neurotic.
I know what you're getting at, but here's the thing. I think unions only benefit the people who got hired first. I mean, just in a general sense, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter like how much work you do or whatnot. It's just based off of when you got hired. If you were there first, you are entitled to make the most money, not based off of your performance, which I think it sucks. It's because you're first, because you're entitled.
It has nothing to do with
your
merits.
performance.
It has nothing to do with merits.
All of that, what you
And
guys
that's
are
what a
saying is
union
true.
does.
But what's not true is this wage versus earnings thing.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're. Yeah, I know what you're
But-
saying, but I don't know if you're thinking about it clearly. But I do 100% know what you're saying. 100%.
I don't think so. So why are you confused about it?
Because what you're saying is the unions promote favoritism based on hire date, and they allow people to not work as hard, and they're still going to be protected.
No. You're going off the subject.
Well, that's exactly what
Why did you
happens.
bring up wage and earnings?
That's all true.
You were
That's
talking
exactly
about
what
wage.
happens.
In my opinion,
You were
that's
talking
all
about
true.
wage and
Yeah.
earnings. What does that have to do with what you're talking about now?
Well, you were kind of tying them together, but
I was saying you said, "Oh, I don't mind the union pay because I'm getting paid more per hour."
Yeah.
I'm saying you're not making as much in the long run, though.
I think that I'm making more in the long run based off my current situation. If you can stack together 3 or 4 unionized jobs, all that really matters is how much you make per hour.
But I'm saying, wouldn't you rather just work one job that pays you, like, gives you the money that you need, than work 4 different jobs?
I understand what you're saying there also.
It's
but
because you're working more jobs, and it's because you're on 2 different worlds of the seniority list.
No, I understand all that. Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's because that seniority list creates such a drastic class, like, differentiation.
Yeah, no, I understand all
You
that.
got people that are making crazy money,
Hey,
and that people that are barely getting by, and the union is like, give us money. And you're like, why should I give you money? The same amount of money. These people are making crazy money and getting bonuses every Christmas and all that kind of stuff, and I have to pay the same rate. Like,
I understand. I understand and I agree completely. But I still think, at least in the short run, I don't know about in the long run because of these retirements. I think the retirements might kill these unions if they're promising retirements. They're basically taking money from their current employees. I think is what they're doing, and they're transferring it to their past employees.
Well, that's how pretty much any social security system works.
I know, and the union's doing the same thing, and they're doing it with health insurance too. Like, I don't think that anyone's entitled.
I mean,
to
it
health
is a
insurance.
scheme. It is a scheme.
I think like health insurance is.
They're not doing it for
anyways.
the people. They're there to make a profit.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
still think that these unions, they have so much power that they are able to demand more wages from these employers.
It's
in the
not
current
just
time.
it's not just power. They also have influence off the people who they prey on people's feelings.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
sure.
they
That's
promise them gold and stuff, and people
Yeah.
are like, "Yeah, I want to be selfish and I want to see where this can take me. You know, as an individual, I want more money." It's like my current job right now. They're trying to get a union in there, and the thing is, they don't even have like the management is giving everything that we want. You know, seniority, whatever. You know, it's pretty much giving us what the union would give us.
But do you
And
think
it's
that
like
they're doing
they
it
still
because
want
they're
more.
afraid of the union?
Of course, they want to prevent the
Yeah.
union coming in from any means necessary, but they are giving us things that we asked for that they didn't
But
have
see,
to.
that would almost be a pro-union argument there, I think. What I mean by that is if they weren't afraid of the union's potential to come there, they might not make those concessions that they're making. I think the only reason they're even making it is because they fear the union.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I think when people try to buy into the union, they think they're getting a golden goose. Here's the thing: maybe a couple people or like 10 people, like the top 10% of
They should have a revolving schedule. Like at that
rotate.
new hotel.
They have a
That
rotate.
new
There
Yeah,
should be a
hotel.
revolving schedule.
Well, apparently, if you're a food server, I was just talking to.
I'm sorry for all these people that work at my place. It should be a revolving schedule.
Hey,
I'm
also,
sorry. That's
we
what
should
I mean, it's
feel
more
about it.
fair.
We should
If
apologize.
I have to pay the same amount of dues that you have to pay, it should be a revolving schedule.
At the same time, here's
Sorry.
what's wrong with that.
But you don't if you don't work 7 hours.
Here's what's
Doesn't
wrong.
that seem a little more fair?
Here's the thing. Here's what's wrong
that
with
does
that.
that does seem fair. But
I
I would
think that seems
but
fair.
but I would rather work more than 7 hours.
There should be a revolving
Would
schedule.
rather-
There's a revolving
and you
schedule
just
that
changed
goes
your
with it.
mind. I just
If
changed your mind.
the union
yeah.
was for the people and fairness, they would do a rotating schedule. But
I agree with that.
we live in a capitalist society where you decide where you go based off of how much work you put in.
Right.
Here's the thing: you have
Kinda.
a choice. No, listen. You have a choice on where you work. Now you can either prepare for that, go to college, get an education, or get experience somewhere doing something, and then you work your way up the ladder. You know, like you're supposed to. Here's the thing: wherever you work, you're not forced to work there. If you don't like it so much, like a lot of these pro-union people say about their job, you don't have to stay there. You can quit. I've quit plenty of jobs in the first week because I didn't like it. I'd be like, oh, I worked here. You know what? I don't like the pay. I don't like the hours. I quit.
Yeah, totally.
You're not forced to stay. And
Right.
tell you what, if you can get a better job with your skills, then you try to get a better job with your skills. But if you're demanding an unreasonable amount of compensation for something that you're not qualified for, why do you think you deserve that extra money, like for having a job that doesn't pay that much?
Amen.
You created the situation where you are qualified for certain jobs or not. If you didn't like where you're at, you go to college or whatnot, you try to get a better job. I actually like the position I'm in where I'm satisfied with the job I work. And if I wasn't happy, I'd look for something else. But right now in my current situation, I'm fine with what I have. And if I didn't like it, guess what? I would work hard
Jobs.
to try to get something.
Yeah. So you're saying that you
So
feel like that's why the unions they kind of take away from that ability.
It's typically the people who support the unions. They probably, let's not be specific here, but I guess they don't live big. They can't see anything outside like their retail or
like
service job.
an hourly position.
It's like
Yeah.
they don't know that there's other options. It's like they have this victim mentality that they're forced to work there, and that $50 an hour is too low. It's like, oh, we need to be able to be paid a living wage.
He said $50 an hour. 50.
50. And it's like, oh, we need the minimum wage to go up from $10 to $15 an hour, and on top of our $50
On top
an
of
hour
50.
Well, you know what these companies are doing?
to
They're
have a
automating
living
stuff.
wage.
They're going to automate these jobs out of existence.
Yeah,
Well, but they can't automate service like
They won't.
waiter
They won't
jobs.
automate a food server position, but they'll definitely automate. These people that are claiming they need to make a living wage at
like
a
fast
McDonald's.
food.
Yeah,
Fast food.
they're gonna be
you know what? That's
automated.
capitalism. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If they didn't like it,
They could choose something else.
they can
America.
either, one, choose something else, or take responsibility for not preparing earlier.
Yeah, totally, 100%. I don't think fast food jobs were ever meant to be like when in human history where was fast food supposed to be a career choice, like a.
I think it's a good first
But-
job.
All right, so
Yeah, when you're like 15 and a half. When I was 15 and a half, I worked at a McDonald's.
I worked at Toys R Us. My first job at 18, I worked at Toys R Us. Worst job ever.
Yeah,
But
but
guess what? At the time, I was making money. It's like, oh, this is the first time I'm actually making money.
Yeah, it teaches you to
I was
clock in
fine
on
making
time.
minimum
Yeah.
wage. It's like, this is money I've never had before.
Yeah, totally.
But as a
Yeah.
kid at the time,
I'm gonna-
where you first get money, obviously you're not going to be happy with it, so you want to make more money. So therefore, whatever career you're trying to go for, in college or whatever you're building up to, you obviously have that opportunity. You prepared for that in the long run.
So you keep saying prepared. I think
You have to put in effort. You can't just be
yeah.
given things.
But if you're a kid, there's no way you can prepare if you're a kid. So it all comes down to your parents. Your parents prepare you as a kid.
Well, you know what? Let's be
You know what I
honest.
mean?
My parents weren't that great, so
But I'm saying it's like what we were saying earlier. It's like I feel like if people that were having children were like more focused on their children, everything will be okay. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are focused on their children and doing an awesome job. But I just think
good family values. Yeah.
I just think the family values. That's what it boils down to. Everybody just needs to have family values.
But not just family values, also culture. Like, what is it that your culture actually deems important, and what you
It ain't
guys
Katy
prioritize?
Perry. No, I mean Katy Perry's great. She's beautiful. She's an artist. But
By the way,
she isn't that important.
I don't know how much longer you want to go this, but I could use a meal break.
All right, let's go live real fast and we'll finish it off.
Cool.
All right, you got to go live though.
Oh boy.
Live.
All right.
We're actually streaming.
Hey, everybody down at the
How do you do it, man?
listening to the podcast, go to my Facebook. We're about to go live. If you've listened to the podcast the past 4 times, you've listened to it enough to know we're about to go live.
Can I update your sexual orientation if I click on update info?
No, let's just go. Just click on go
Don't they have
live.
like 56?
No, that's genders.
Yeah, 56
It's
genders?
genders.
Okay, is that what it
Yeah.
was?
Is
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
So
Where-
just
where
click
do you-
on
Where's it at, man? Don't see it.
words that say go live right
Nah, you know how it is when you're not looking.
there.
Live video? This one right here? Live video?
You know how? Yeah, the live video thing.
Well, it's like someone's like, hey, look at that cloud. You're like, well, which cloud?
All right, there we
okay.
go.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
So we're live? Now I have to click go live. Right?
Yeah, click it.
Clicking it. Creating a live
It'll say 3, 2, 1.
broadcast. Live in 3 seconds.
All right,
Looks like we're
welcome everybody to What Do You Believe? This is our 1-month anniversary. Welcome. If you want to catch the other 4 episodes that we did, go to whatdoyoubelievecomedy.com.
Comedy.
Yeah,
This was a comedy show.
it's freaking hilarious.
I thought this is more of a serious show. I guess.
I mean, David's laughing.
Yeah, that's awesome that he's asking, right?
Right, yeah.
I love it.
Well, it was good. It's good stuff.
This
Anyway,
isn't really comedy. It's just like entertaining, right?
You know what? It's just the truth, and sometimes the funniest things are just the truth. That's why people laugh, because they can relate to themselves.
exactly. That's what comedians feed off of. That's how
Yeah.
they make the money. It's the truth.
Yeah,
Kinda.
comedians are kind of tuned in. I don't think of this as like stand-up comedy, like punchline. But it's just, don't you think of it more as like entertainment?
Yeah,
And
but we
entertainment can
laugh.
be-
We laugh while we're here.
Yeah, okay. That's
There,
true, yeah.
in the times that we were talking, we laughed.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I don't think that necessarily makes a comedy, but whatever.
Let's give a recap. We talked
Well-
about unions,
Well,
moon landings,
that's your opinion.
Trump.
Moon landings, Trump.
Not too much on Trump.
Not too much.
Actually,
No, yeah, it wasn't that much.
let's see, what do we talk about? Oh, boosting the SAT scores, which is crazy.
No, Asian discrimination.
Asian discrimination. If you're Asian or not, watch this episode.
Wait, hey, Chris, what about Indians from India?
We discussed that they're still Asian.
No, I know, but do you
They're
think
just
that
not Oriental.
I get it that technically they are. You know, geographically, India is considered part of Asia, but are these discrimination policies that are in place towards Asians? Are they also in place towards Indians?
You know, I actually have no idea.
Okay, because Indians are also kicking ass in the U.S.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're actually oppressed, or I don't think they're actually grouped in with the Oriental Asians yet.
Asians and Indians, they keep their head down. They just do their stuff. You know, they're not trying to cause trouble.
They work hard.
They don't walk around wearing bling all the time. I mean, some of them do. You know, but they just knock their shit out. They just get it done. They're industrious.
You can't say SH.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
It's okay.
Keep their stuff together, you know, and yeah.
Oh, we also found out that I don't know the difference between Down syndrome and autism for like a couple of minutes. So
yeah, he thought he could identify.
I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. I'm sorry for anybody that wants to watch that. You can laugh about it.
That's a good scene.
But it projected the story to like more important issues like Down syndrome, which was
No, we were actually
know,
referring
that-
that to
yeah,
abortion,
that's
about how even
Yeah, yeah.
Down syndrome people
well
believe they have the right to live and that they can live a
exactly.
meaningful life.
It all came to fruition. For some reason, I made a mistake for a reason. I'm just calling it that. It's not because I'm retarded or anything.
Hey, this is California. You can't use that word.
I know. There's a
That's actually the funniest thing.
there's
that
a
happened.
comedian that I follow. His name's Owen Benjamin. I brought him up on the first one. He talks about the word retarded and how we don't use it here in California, and how scientifically we should use it.
Yeah, because it actually was a scientific term.
Yeah, it's considered science.
Here's the thing.
Science!
With words, anyone can be offended with any word. It's like you might as well just ban every single word altogether because someone will find a way to get offended.
Exactly.
Which is why sometimes I create new words that actually mean the same thing as words that are taboo, so that I can still say what I'm trying to mean.
Hook me up with a new word. What you got?
No thanks.
No thanks. What does that mean?
Okay, fine. Nah, never mind.
Nah, never mind. What does that mean?
George Carlin has an entire.
Okay, tell you
thing on
what.
that.
How about this? Like for instance, someone that I know that lives in the barrio, right? The barrio is like
The barrio.
right?
Chris, you're right. Top earners are Asian men in America.
We also talk about how Asians are kicking ass in America.
Financially,
Financially.
because they're taking advantage of the U.S. System.
Good job, Asians.
White
As
and
I was
Asian
saying-
women out-earn
Anyway, the barrio. We're talking about
this
the
is a hard
barrio.
one to say. Like, okay, Asian women out-earn
All
black.
right, good.
and
You know what? This
Hispanic
is a sign for me to not continue.
men. Should I?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing.
No,
I'm just
no,
doing
No.
this. Yeah.
That many interruptions shows that I shouldn't say it.
Wait, the barrio's like the South American thing, right? Like the.
It's like a Hispanic ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
dude,
the
I've seen videos of
Hispanic
that. It's
hood.
crazy. Did I send you that video of that crazy biker that bikes up the mountain?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I should show you guys this video after we go off Facebook Live. It's great. It's so good.
All right.
He's
hey,
so good.
well, if you want to see the rest of this video, you have to go and see the YouTube video. Thank you, Chris K. Bam, for joining us on today. And
Oh, Chris K. Yeah, super entertaining. Much more talkative than I expected, and filled with lots of knowledge on a variety of subjects.
Not
Yeah,
enough
good.
knowledge.
he's
but,
a good
you know.
guest.
Chris needs
He's
to come
a-
back again next week.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a good guest to have.
Oh,
All right,
good.
take it easy, guys. Here, go. We want to go de-live us. You got to
So
go.
we can
Yeah.
cuss again and curse.
Take it easy.
Okay, bye.
Bye.